Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Lately, the world of K-pop has been quite chaotic, and there's a lot we need to discuss. Let's dive straight into the Are You Next finale. So, everything I believe about K-pop survival shows has proven true. As usual, talent was not prioritized, and the entire show seemed rigged, with selections based on visuals rather than talent. Honestly, I can't understand why anyone is surprised. We knew the show was questionable from the start. Let's also address the name they gave to the group, ILIT. It's a terrible name, and whoever came up with it should be fired from HYBE. In a time when 80% of K-pop group names sound like diaper brands, they managed to do even worse, which is quite impressive, if you think about it. Now, let's talk about the final lineup and why I'm a bit frustrated. Firstly, as usual, this K-pop group is a sophomore class in high school and everyone is fucking young, the oldest member being just 19. Again, I am disappointed but not surprised. I have empathy, so I won't single out any specific contestant for criticism, especially since most of them are minors. However, I believe we all have an idea of who deserved to debut and who didn't. There's no need to be mean and write offensive comments about the final lineup everywhere. I'm also disappointed, but let's remember that these contestants are humans, and, above everything, children. I want to address the whole Wonhee situation because the internet is going wild about her ranking first while very popular and talented contestants like Jiwoo and Chanel were cut off, which is unfair. People are saying that Wonhee has connections and was favored or that she's untalented. I want to say that even though I agree that her first place ranking is a bit frustrating, especially since I was a Jiwoo stan throughout the show and wanted to see her in that position, we need to remember that Wonhee is barely 16. What frustrates me is that K-pop stans never seem to learn. They did the same with so many idols, a perfect example being Wonyoung. You're criticizing Wonhee now, just like you did with her, and trust me, in a few months, when you're singing her praises and claiming you've always loved her, I'll be here to remind you that you were the first ones to criticize her. Also, agencies keep resorting to these tactics because they know that bad publicity, in the end, is still publicity. They count on all this scandal because people will be interested in their debut, even if they're only watching to hate. Despite everything, I hope the best for the girls, and I hope they don't end up like Fromies, locked in HYBE's basement. Let's wait for their debut before passing the final judgment. At the end of the day, the same unfair selection process happens for almost every group, it's just not broadcasted in a survival show. Probably 90% of the idols we see today were not chosen solely for their talent. Alright, let's discuss the V scandal involving his alleged lip-syncing of the N-word during a live stream. For those who might not be aware of what happened, I'll provide a brief explanation. Essentially, while Taehyung was listening to a song, there was a moment where it seemed like he might have lip-synced the N-word. Let's listen to the clip. Now, as you can see, it's not entirely clear, and since I am not black, I won't engage in a debate about whether he said it or not because it's not my place to do so. What I want to emphasize is that I will always stand by marginalized communities and pay attention to their voices and concerns. Now, let's discuss the behavior of some armies in response to this scandal. Of course, I'm not referring to every army, but rather a small but vocal portion of them. It's astonishing how many TikTok lives appeared on my For You page where armies were denying that V said the N-word and claiming that people are just trying to hate on BTS and that we're all crazy. I also saw many tweets implying that Blinks are making a big deal out of it just to criticize V. I won't pretend that there aren't people who use scandals as an excuse to attack K-pop groups, especially when those groups are as big as Blackpink or BTS. However, I'm frustrated by the lack of empathy and understanding that some armies have displayed lately. Gaslighting black people and speaking over their voices is not acceptable, especially in an industry like K-pop where issues related to racism, cultural appropriation, and insensitivity have been prevalent. We don't need a group of teenagers dismissing complaints as crazy or hateful. There are better ways to express your opinion without being so dismissive and insensitive. Also, it's ironic that the people who claim that others are hating for no reason are often the first ones to criticize other groups when they have the opportunity to do so. Trust me, if Jini did the same thing, you would tear her to shreds and talk about this scandal for months. As usual, am I pissed? Yes. But am I surprised? Not really. Did you guys listen to The Girls by Blackpink? My sister slayed. It was so good. YG, however, did some stupid shit as usual. They postponed the songs for months, only to release them on the 23rd of August in the game and then make us wait another 2 whole days to release it on YouTube and other streaming platforms. Regardless, the songs performed fairly well, and the music itself was fantastic. Can we talk about Lisa's rap and Rose's verses? The thing I always complain about is the fact that Blackpink don't explore enough with their sound, but every time they release a song I am so ready to stream it and I am sure I am gonna like it, even if it's the same formula over and over again. The unfortunate thing is that we'll have to wait another year for a new song, and just like Fromies, my sisters will probably be locked in YG's basement for a while. Additionally, there's the issue with the contracts that we should know the results of in a few days. Let's hope for the best. And finally, I want to talk about Jini. For those who may not be familiar, Jini is a former member of NMIXX who left the group for unknown reasons last year. Now, Jini was my bias in NMIXX, and when she reappeared on TikTok after months of silence following her departure from the group, I was overjoyed. You can imagine how disappointed I was when all she seemed to be doing was cringy TikTok challenges. But I had a feeling that she might debut as a soloist, so I patiently waited for months, but there was no news about a potential debut. When I was scripting this video, I even contemplated going on a whole rant about how cringy Jini's TikToks were and how I wish she would return to the studio. I mean, can you blame me? Just take a look at this. But here's the good news, I recently went on TikTok, and guess what popped up on my For You page? Jini is finally making her debut, and I couldn't be happier for her. Now, the song playing in the background is Ass, and I sincerely hope it's not the track she plans to release. But regardless, we are cheering. Okay, that's it. I am really curious to hear your thoughts about these topics I talked about in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video and I remind you that this is a small channel and every kind of support is appreciated, so consider subscribing and leaving a like. Bye bye.